These are live pictures. It's just east of Central Station in Sydney, a massive blaze, a building alight. It's believed this is on Randall Street. The firefighters are on the scene trying to contain that blaze, but you can see from the size of it, the risk of it spilling over into neighbouring buildings is also a very real one. We haven't got much else in terms of if anyone was inside the building at the time or whether the evacuations have been carried out. But a car next to the building was also on fire, as you can see there. 50 people I'm told now 50 people have been evacuated, and smoke is billowing from that building as we go to air. Now, James Morrow joins me now. James Morrow is our colleague from Sky News. He also works nearby. James, what did you see there with that huge blaze in Sydney today?
Well, it's just incredible. We could see it, Kieran, out of the windows of the newsroom at the Daily Telegraph here on Holt Street in Surrey Hills. That is quite a fair distance away, and the flames I saw just 10, 15 minutes ago were shooting quite high out of the building. It seems to have died down a bit now as the fires consumed the contents of that building. I think it's an industrial building that's been converted to offices, and I'm not sure. I actually think that my own personal medical clinic is in that building, so I'm hoping everybody there is all right. But I've never seen a blaze like that. The amount of smoke that was pouring out was just unbelievable. And clearly that whole building is a total loss. We'll have to find out, I guess, what started it and what caused it to be such a violent ignition. Yeah,
so for those that are watching, James, and don't know the area, we're talking about right in the middle of the CBD, aren't we?
Well, no, not quite the CBD. This is more towards the Central Station end of the city, so it's a bit further south. It's nearest to, a bit sort of towards Chinatown and Surrey Hills, the Redfern area. So, it's an older industrial area of the city where a lot of the buildings have been converted into offices, ad agencies, fintech firms, all sorts of things like that. So it's a very busy area, but it's not the downtown, CBD skyscraper proper, but it is very close to Central Station, and there's a lot of apartment blocks and things like that. I know I'd be pretty concerned about some of those apartment blocks, which I think, are on the other side of that alleyway behind it. I think the fire crews there, you can see, are now spraying water on that side, I think, to try and prevent any further spread to the neighboring building.
The size of those flames that it's obviously been doused to some extent now. It's getting under control, but and the firefighters have done an incredible job to do that, because just looking at those pictures, initially they were extraordinary, the size of those flames, James.
Well, yeah, and in fact, I saw, 20 minutes ago, as I say, the flames were shooting 20, 30 meters out the top of that. They were visible, 2 streets away and over a tree line from the offices on the third floor here at Holt Street.
Just as we're watching, flames have just jumped on, it looks like, onto that neighbouring building.
Yeah.
The flames have just caused a fire in the backyard terrace of that building.
Yeah, that's, gosh, I hope they can get that out, because obviously those are apartments over there, and those are people's balconies and things, obviously, like that. There may be a barbecue out there. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But, you would think there'd be barbecues and propane tanks on the back of a lot of those units there that people would.
The firefighters have now moved. You can see they've just moved one of the hoses onto that. Let's hope they're successful in
yes, absolutely,
as well, because that's obviously very dangerous in a residential area, as you mentioned, James.
And it's a very dense area too.
The old industrial side with apartments next door.
Yeah, there's apartments. A lot of these old industrial buildings have been converted into like loft-style apartments, like you would get in New York City places. Well, it looks like they're getting some success on tamping down that particular fire, but gosh, it's you can imagine that they're very concerned about that, because the sheer heat of that blaze would just have to be immense, and they would be concerned, as I say, there would have to be barbecue tanks and things like that on a lot of those terraces.